Hi, we're Steve and Audra. Today we're sharing the third part of our very first major road trip that we took this past summer in our self-converted Ford Transit camper van. We've been spending time in the mountains of North Carolina to hike and explore. We've climbed to high altitudes, discovered some fantastic waterfalls and swimming holes, and spotted some wildlife along the way. Today our journey continues with more mountaintop views, another swimming hole, and some natural areas closer to the city of Asheville. We hope you'll join us on our adventure.
So far, we've been exploring at a bit of a fast pace in order to take in as much as possible in this beautiful area, so we decided to slow down a bit today. After walking the cats and getting ready for the day, we went in search of a nice spot somewhere next to the water. We drove a nice section of the Parkway out of Asheville that we hadn't been on yet and stopped at an overlook to have some breakfast and take in the views.
We found a babbling brook just off the Blue Ridge Parkway, where we relaxed for the afternoon with the van slider door open. We both also took some time to do some computer editing and other work. It was so peaceful with the sound of the water flowing over the rocks and the birds singing in the trees. A perfect summer afternoon for rock chucking. It's so nice to have our home on wheels with us wherever we go, so we can mostly do whatever we want, whenever we want.
We headed to the next spot on our list, the Loeb Trail to Black Balsam Knob, with just enough time for a quick hike. The trail was hard to find and to follow. It split a few times with absolutely no markers. We had to guess as to which direction was correct. In the end, we chose the paths that seemed to head to higher ground. This trail was the narrowest and roughest we had yet hiked, rocky in some places, and then just an overgrown dirt path in other sections.
We wound our way up, aware that there were some dark clouds on the horizon. The clouds seemed to move through so quickly here. We weren't sure if we'd run into rain or not. The trail gave us a good workout, especially because we were rushing.
If you listen closely enough, that sound you're hearing is my heart about to explode.
Don't worry, folks. After several more minutes of hiking, we made it to the top, with my heart in one piece.
The top, or bald, was a grassy meadow with outcroppings of large rock with an alpine feel at approximately 6,000 feet elevation. The views were incredible. There were a few other hikers, including a photographer and model in a wedding dress with flowers doing a photo shoot. Alas, the clouds moved in and the rain started to fall, softly at first. Then it turned into sheets of rain, so we pulled out our cheap plastic ponchos as quickly as we could. The rain passed through fairly quickly, but we didn't have more time to spend at the top, sadly. This was my favorite spot of the trip so far, so I was regretful that we didn't have more time here.
We had one day left to explore the Asheville area before we headed to the Smoky Mountains in Tennessee. We decided to change things up and visit some spots closer to Asheville.
We started with a visit to the Asheville Botanical Gardens, located on a 10-acre tract of land adjacent to the University of North Carolina at Asheville. We discovered a stream running along one side of the gardens. If you know anything about us, you probably know that we both love water and I love plants, so this was a nice spot for both of us. We took some time to appreciate the quiet morning and gentle sounds of the stream before exploring the rest of the areas. Steve also worked on his interpretive rock dance routine. We walked around some of the rest of the grounds. We found a variety of plants in bloom, and of course, I took some time to snap some photos. Are you surprised?
Thaddy enjoyed the view as we made our way to the next destination, Beaver Lake Bird Sanctuary. We took time for a quick snack before we walked the boardwalk trail in search of wildlife.
Man, am I hungry.
We didn't see a lot of wildlife, but we did find one of my favorite plants.
Did you get it?
The jewelweed is also called a touch-me-not, because upon touching the ripe seed pods, they explode.
I loved these when I was a kid. Well, I still love them.
When I was little, my mom would find them for us to pop, and it's still one of my favorite things to do. It was actually Steve's birthday, and his birthday wish for our last day in the area was to find another creek to relax next to. I thought that sounded like a good idea, especially since we were due for another bath. After doing some research, we tried a couple spots that were recommended by the locals. We settled on a creek that had been dammed up to create a nice swimming hole and discovered that it was indeed a popular spot, but not as crowded as some of the more touristy swimming holes we had visited previously while exploring the Blue Ridge Parkway in Pisgah National Forest.
There were some nice cascades and low-key rapids with steady current that made for a fun little ride, and it was nice to cool off.
First. Go feet. Put your feet out first. Feet first. Oh, you're too late. Oh no, you get stuck up there.
We made some friends with some of the locals and enjoyed watching them and their pets playing in the water. Cannonball! All of our swimming tired Fatty out. It was time to get back on the road, and as we left, we encountered a groundhog playing chicken on the highway.
Our destination for the evening was a campsite in Tennessee at the Flaming Arrow Campground. Make sure to join us again next week as we do some adventuring in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. We'll share some of our stops along the Smoky Mountains Parkway with more great views, waterfalls, wildlife sightings, and lazy river rafting.
Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the journey, remember, click that like button, subscribe, and turn on your notifications if you haven't already so you don't miss future episodes. We'll catch you next time.